Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, don't do unboxings, we might do a few playthroughs, but we generally like to talk a lot of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be talking about a very light skirmish game. We are going to be talking about Nexus Ops 3rd edition, and in this game you will be taking control of a faction. You will be trying to gain control of different mines that will give you cash, allow you to build more units, bash the living shit out of your opponents, that will hopefully give you enough victory points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Nexus Ops 3rd edition is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this. Bollocks. So, Nexus Ops 3rd edition. How'd you play this game? So Nexus Ops 3rd edition is a very, very light war game, yeah? Each player is going to take control of a faction. They're pretty much identical. You're going to stick the monolith in the center of the table, and then you will build a map around it, depending on how many players you got playing a game, right? You're going to get all of your starting units, you're going to put them to the side of the board, and each player is going to get a number of rubium gems, which is going to be the currency of the game, yeah? The first player is going to get less than the second player, and the third player is going to get more than the second player, and all that shit, yeah? So this game follows a very strict turn order. There are a number of phases to this game. The first phase is the deploy phase. You're going to then move your troops, then you're going to explore the hexes that you control, and then you're going to have a scrap. You're going to get your income, and then you'll draw a secret objective card. So in the deploy phase you will be able to buy units. Each one of your units has a different cost, right? You'll see this on your player sheet. You can buy as many units as you can afford to pay for, and you'll stick them on one of your 3 home spaces, yeah? All of your units got to start there. You can't just go dumping them on the monolith because you feel like you're Billy Big Balls, you know what I mean? And you might even have an energized card that you can use in the deploy phase. You can do that now, you can't do it later, so don't even ask. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to move, yeah? Each unit is going to move 1 space unless they have got a special ability that lets them move twice through spaces like rock plains or magma pools and all that sort of stuff. Humans can't move through magma pools because obviously they'll just get burnt to a fucking crisp, wouldn't they? Next thing you're going to do is you're going to explore. In setup, you would have put some face down exploration tiles on the board, and during this phase you will flip it over and it will either reveal a mine or it will reveal a unit that you can deploy straight away, or you might even get a mine and a unit that you can deploy straight away, right? So once you've done that, you will have a fight. Combat works like this. There is a strict order of battle. If you look at your player map, you will go from the rubium dragon all the way down to the human, and you will activate each one in that order, yeah? Each unit has a 2 hit value, so if you're using the rubium dragon, you're going to hit on a 2+, which is quite a piece of piss. Once all those units on that space have been activated, you'll move on to the next one and the next one until you get all the way down to the human, and then combat will be over, unless of course you get your ass kicked and you ain't got no units left. So if you win the combat, you'll be able to take a battle victory point card, yeah? And you might even be able to play a secret mission card that lets you play it when you've had a battle, yeah? If you are the defender and you lose, you'll be able to take an energized card and stick it next to you. Energized cards are like a catch-up thing, or like some compensation if you lose a battle. But if you are the attacker and you lose, guess what? You ain't going to get fuck all, son. So once you are done fighting, you move into the income phase. If you control a mine, you'll get that many rubium crystals that you'll be able to spend in the deploy phase, right? And then once you've done that, you'll draw a secret mission card and add it to your hand. So every turn you're going to have more objectives that you can fulfill. So you keep doing this, you will keep on going backwards and forwards, following all these steps until one player ends up with 12 victory points, in which case they will be the winner of Nexus Ops 3rd edition. So what do we like about Nexus Ops 3rd edition? So the first thing that we really like about this game is that combat follows a very, very strict order. So what this means is that even your most powerful units are vulnerable to getting wiped out if you don't plan your movement in an optimal manner. If for some reason your rubium dragon doesn't roll a 2+, they are going to be vulnerable from even a human who's going to hit on a 6+, yeah? So you've got to be very mindful when you're moving your units around whether or not you're sticking them in a precarious position. And this seems to always give even the the slimmest chance of being able to defend mines or hexes or even the monolith if you're playing the King of the Hill variant from the most powerful opponents. So the second thing that we really like about Nexus Ops 3rd edition is that the basic rules are a complete and utter piece of piss to learn. Yeah, you're just going to be following a checklist. Yeah, you're not really going to have to remember all the rules because they are on your player board. You're just going to be running through, ticking them off, doing what you want to do, and then passing it on to the next player. And it doesn't really take that long to get through this list. It's not like the port action in Merchant and Marauders that seems to take a fucking eon to get through. Yeah, and even the fights are over quickly, even if you've got a few of them to get through. Yeah, and more often than not in a 4-player game especially, this means that most players are engaged each turn because this game can get a little bit chaotic and everyone can get drawn in on a relatively small map, you know what I mean? So yeah, the rules are really simple, and in an age of these astronomically complicated Kickstarter behemoths, Nexus Ops is a welcome relief. Yeah, it's almost like taking a sedative. So the final thing that we like about Nexus Ops 3rd edition is that the Energize cards seem to be quite a nice compensation if you get your ass kicked by a random die roll. So for instance, you might play the Frenzy card and it says each unit gets 2 attacks instead of 1. This is absolutely huge if you are way behind. You got your ass spanked by somebody who is master or mistress or vaistress of lucky die rolls. Or you might play the Outflank card and it says choose up to 2 units in the same space at +2 to each of those units die rolls. In this battle, again, this is a fucking mental card, yeah? Or you might play Scattered Rubium and it says gain 1 Rubium for each space you control outside of your home base, a minimum of 3, yeah? This could make all the difference to you getting those extra powerful units if you have just been destroyed in a round. So these Energized cards are a fantastic way to keep the game balanced, even though it's chaotic as fuck. So don't be like, but Nexus Ops 3rd edition. So the first thing that we don't like about this game is that it can get a little bit messy towards the end, yeah, when all of the pieces are on the board, and the board isn't that big yet. It's just a few rings around a central monolith hex. There's pieces from all factions strewn across the board, and it can be difficult to remember which of your units have moved and which haven't, yeah. If you add to this that some of the units have got movement restrictions, they got restrictions on whether they can enter the monolith or not, and the Rubium Dragon has got a special ability where it can launch an attack in an adjacent space during your turn. Yes, you've got to be able to remember that as well. Yeah, so yeah, this game can get a little bit too mental, and me being complete and utter thick idiot, I do struggle to keep up with what's going on the board and plan my strategy accordingly. So the final thing that we don't really like about this game is that where you're getting a secret objective at the end of your turn in each round, you could end up with like 5 or 6 or even more secret objectives to choose from. Yeah, and trying to plan for each of these objectives can get a little bit too much to bear. Yeah, again, it's very difficult for me to keep more than 2 or 3 things in my mind at the same time. Yeah, so when you've got 7 different victory conditions all vying for your attention, my brain just wants to implode and disappear down the nearest crack in the fucking wall. When you pull these off and you manage to chain a few together, then it's quite a satisfying experience. But there will be occasions where you'll be thinking, fuck's sake, I didn't fulfill that objective when I could have done. Or you think you've fulfilled an objective and then someone says you haven't actually fulfilled it. So it can be a little bit frustrating in that regard, yeah, the fact that you're going to have a plethora of options in which to score those 12 points. So to summarise, is Nexus Ops 3rd edition worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we are going to say yes, Nexus Ops is at its heart a very stupid game, yeah? It can feel unfair, but more often than not it results in a pretty fun time. There's enough variety of units, victory conditions and energize cards to make each game feel largely different but cohesively the same at the same time, if that makes sense. It can become a bit of a hot mess with so many things to consider, but if you don't mind getting spanked by the odd random die roll, then Nexus Ops is a fantastic entry-level wargame that pretty much should be on your shelf in this day and age. Yeah, so there you go, that is Nexus Ops 3rd edition. Remember, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.